Welcome back to Weather for Weather Geeks, everyone. It's the Monday afternoon edition. Hope you had a good weekend. It's certainly not a great-looking Monday out there today. We've got rain, temperatures a little on the chilly side for April the 7th, but I wanted to start off today with taking a look at the first week of April, at least the first 6 days of it, how we're shaping up in terms of temperatures compared to average across the North American continent. And this is a little bit opposite of what the winter pattern was. If you remember, the winter, of course, no doubt you remember, was chillier than average in much of the eastern U.S. and warmer than average out west. Well, through the first 6 days of April, it's been reversed. The west has been cool. The Midwest has been cool again in the plain states, but generally south of the Great Lakes, including here in Youngstown and then down into the southeast and the southern plains, it's been warmer than average. Now, here in northeast Ohio, western PA, the difference from average has not been real tremendous, degree and a half or 2 degrees. Certainly noticeable. We've had some nice mild days. The differences between what it's been like compared to average have been a little higher down towards the Carolinas, Tennessee Valley. Alaska, at least the western part of Alaska, has also been a little bit warmer than average so far this month. All right, let's talk about the present. And yes, it is raining, likely in most spots. It's taken a long time today for the atmosphere to moisten up in the lower levels. There's been a lot of precipitation aloft that has been falling but evaporating before it reaches the ground. Dew points have been pretty low, indicative of a dry air mass down near the ground. And so a lot of this has been kind of drying up before it reaches us, but finally the atmosphere is moist enough and saturated enough now that rain is getting going. I'll put the radar in motion here, give you a general sense as to how things have been playing out. And yeah, especially now from about, say, 2:24 on north as I record this at about 2:15 p.m. That's where most of our steady light rain is right now. The echoes get a little bit heavier once you're back towards I-71, Mansfield down to Columbus, over towards Dayton and Wilmington. And yeah, some of that's going to try to head our way before the day is through. Let me plot up those dew point temperatures since I brought it up. Earlier, the dew points were down in the lower 30s, even upper 20s, again, indicative of a dry air mass in the lower levels. And that drier air mass has retreated now north of Lake Erie and south of Lake Erie. Dew points are up in the 30s and 40s. So yes, indeed, it is moistening up. Temperatures at this hour, again, 2 o'clock hour, 49 in Youngstown, generally within a degree or two of 50 in most backyards at this time. And so it's below average. We should be in the mid-50s at this time of the year, but we're not going to make it quite there today as a result of the clouds and the rain. Well, let's take a look at the bigger picture here. We've got a kind of a big break where there's a lot of dry air in through here, and then there's showers and some thunderstorms down in the deep south. The Storm Prediction Center out in Oklahoma has an area highlighted in yellow here where there's an enhanced risk of severe weather this afternoon. I don't think that the risk is tremendously high, particularly north of the Ohio River, but I could see where some storms get going down in here in the more unstable air. We'll talk about what the radar should look like in the future coming up. And they are, of course, concerned about severe weather down here in the deep south, where we do have a tornado watch in effect from the panhandle of Florida through southeastern Georgia and the beaches of South Carolina, heading up to about Wilmington, North Carolina. Wind is the main threat down here, although there is enough spin in the atmosphere that there could be some tornadic activity. All right, let's head back home then, and or at least closer to home, and talk about what the future will bring. We'll bring up the latest high-resolution HRRR, or Rapid Refresh model here. This is a simulation of the radar as we go through time. And I'm going to start this a couple of hours into the future. Let's start this at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And at 4 o'clock, this looks overdone to me. I think the model is a little bit too rambunctious with the degree and intensity of precipitation. But it gives you a sense as to where generally the areas of rain will be. So it looks, pretty soggy, with perhaps somewhat heavier rain echoes getting in here by 5 o'clock, and here at 6 o'clock. The threat for severe weather I mentioned down here in southern Ohio, this doesn't look like a great threat to me, but I think there could be a couple of cells that pop up that could bring some hail and some damaging winds. Most of that's down towards Marietta, Parkersburg, into Kentucky and West Virginia. But for us, the bottom line, as I roll this forward, let's go forward to 8 o'clock. Another round of rain about to move through, more showers around right through 11 o'clock. Here's 11 o'clock this evening. And finally, midnight. So the bottom line for us, of course, is here that, it can be wet at times for the rest of the afternoon and heading into the evening as well. All right, let's talk about tomorrow. We'll bring up the NAM model for tomorrow. I think tomorrow we'll start this off at 8 a.m. with perhaps a shower around. The model shows some activity around here, especially in the higher terrain over in Pennsylvania. Wouldn't be shocked if there's a wet snowflake or two mixed in with this first thing tomorrow morning. But then we'll get into tomorrow afternoon. Let me skip ahead to 1 p.m. Not much is going to happen here. I don't think until maybe late in the day. This is 5 p.m. The model's trying to spin up a couple of showers here and there. I don't think it's going to do much tomorrow. We're going to have probably a 30-40% chance of a shower in spots in the forecast tomorrow. I suspect the best chance is either first thing in the morning with that lingering moisture that's about to move out, or then again late in the day as the atmosphere destabilizes some. But overall, the chances of rain are not tremendous during the entire day for tomorrow. All right, so let's talk about the rest of the week then. Let's skip ahead to Wednesday. I think Wednesday probably starts with some clouds around as a front moves off to the east. But Wednesday is going to be a transition day to better things. Wednesday afternoon should feature some sun and slowly moderating temperatures. Probably still, a little below average in much of the area Wednesday. Thursday is our day where it's going to be noticeably different. I think this is a blowtorch kind of a day here with a increasing southwesterly wind, sunshine. There's not much foliage out there yet, so the sun is not getting intercepted much by leaves and foliage, so it's hitting the ground and warming the ground fully. And this is going to be one of those days where the models probably are not going to be warm enough. This is a day where human forecasters can probably do quite a bit better than the computer models. So I would not be shocked at all to see 70 on Thursday, maybe even 72 or so during the day Thursday with a strengthening wind. In fact, let me just switch sources on you real quick again here. I'll talk about the wind briefly on Thursday. Thursday is the 10th. Well, look at the wind field here quickly. Thursday afternoon on the NAM model, and we're getting into some greens here at the surface level here. And as you can see on my legend over on the left, greens are sustained winds of 25 to 35 miles per hour, so there could be a few higher gusts. So that looks like a windy afternoon. The wind's up at 5,000 feet, where we might try to mix down from, or in other words, some of that wind at 5,000 feet might try to come down to the surface. Winds up at 5,000 feet into the magentas and oranges, purples here, up 55, 60, 65 miles an hour. So I don't think we see 60 mile per hour winds on Thursday, but I could see where we get a gust up to 40 or so. That looks like a windy day. So that's Thursday. Friday, we've got a front coming in. This is going to put an end to the 70s. Friday is still a fairly mild day, though, but I think there'll be a shower or two around. In fact, we're going to hang on to the threat for wet weather into Friday night and perhaps parts of Saturday, particularly the first part of the day. This is Saturday morning. Some lingering moisture about to push out. Probably improve some Saturday afternoon. And then Sunday also looks like a windy and warm day ahead of our next front. This is Sunday with low pressure up across Lake Michigan, cold front back here, warm front over here, and we should be, skyrocketing again, perhaps to 70 or higher on Sunday with a gusty wind. And then next week, I think, is starting to look kind of chilly. This is the 8 to 16 day temperature outlook on the GFS model. This 8 to 16 day period is basically from the morning of the 15th, tax day, up through the morning of the 23rd. So, roughly the third into fourth week of April. And you're seeing a lot of cool colors here. So the pattern does not favor much warmth, I don't think, through at least the 20th, 21st. Beyond that, I think it starts to get consistently warmer. So we're going to go through a cool stretch, it looks like, starting about a week from today, lasting for perhaps much of next week, maybe a warm day here and there, but generally the pattern does look cooler than average for a week to 10 days, maybe up to 16 days from now. So a little heads up on the longer range. All right, that's weather for Weather Geeks on this Monday, and you can check out my forecast tonight, 21 News at 6 and 11. Early risers, be sure and tune in to WFMJ today at 5 a.m. It runs through 7, and Jess always has a very energetic and insightful look at your forecast to get you out the door every weekday morning. In the meantime, I'll see you back here for Weather Geeks tomorrow afternoon.